In an increasingly fast-paced and interconnected world, a shocking piece of news has recently shaken the foundations of our society. Dear friends, prepare for an experience that could change your perspective on life and the future of humanity. What I am about to share with you is not just a simple story but a message that could impact every aspect of our existence. Pope Francis, a beloved and respected figure worldwide, has made a statement that left everyone speechless. Are you ready to discover what he said and why this might directly concern you and your loved ones? In a general audience that seemed like many others, Pope Francis suddenly changed his tone. His face, usually serene and welcoming, took on a grave expression. Silence fell over St. Peter's Square as the Pope prepared to speak. "My dear brothers and sisters," he began, "I have received a message that I can no longer keep to myself. The time has come to share with you a revelation concerning the fate of humanity." His words immediately captured everyone's attention. Journalists, pilgrims, and faithful held their breath, aware that they were witnessing a historic moment. The Pope continued, "In recent months, during my nightly prayers, I have had recurring visions. Visions of a future that, if we do not act now, could become our reality." The Holy Father described apocalyptic scenarios, rising seas, lands turning into deserts, conflicts over increasingly scarce resources. But it was not just about natural disasters. Pope Francis spoke of an unprecedented spiritual crisis, of a humanity at risk of losing its soul in the relentless pursuit of fleeting pleasures and material wealth. "I am not here to instill fear," reassured the Pope, "but to urge you to action. We still have the power to change the course of events." He then shared details on how small daily actions, performed with love and awareness, can have a tremendous impact on the future of our planet and our species. The Pope's message was not limited to environmental issues. He touched on profound themes such as the importance of family, respect for the elderly, education of the young, and the need to rediscover authentic values in an era dominated by technology and consumerism. "We must return to the roots of our faith," declared Francis, "not only as Catholics but as human beings. Compassion, empathy, forgiveness, these are the pillars on which we must rebuild our society." The Pope's words had an immediate impact. On social media, millions of people began sharing and commenting on his message. Experts from various disciplines were called to interpret and analyze his words. Some saw in his statements a reference to ancient prophecies, others highlighted their scientific and social relevance. But what does all this mean for us, for you who are reading these lines? How can we interpret this message in light of our personal experiences? Let's take a moment to reflect. Close your eyes and think about your life, the choices you have made, the world you are leaving to your children and grandchildren. What do you see? Are you satisfied, or do you feel there is room for change? The Pope invites us to deep introspection. It is not just about changing our external habits but transforming our hearts. It is an invitation to rediscover our humanity in a world that seems to have forgotten it. Take, for example, technology. How many of us spend hours in front of a screen, losing touch with the real world? The Pope does not condemn technology itself but urges us to use it wisely, as a tool to unite and not to divide. And what about our relationship with the environment? Francis reminds us that we are stewards, not owners, of the earth. Every action we take, no matter how small, has an impact. From choosing to reduce plastic use to saving energy, we can make a difference. But the Pope's message goes beyond that. He speaks of a crisis of values that is undermining the foundations of our society. Exaggerated individualism, the pursuit of profit at all costs, indifference towards others, these are the real enemies we must fight. At this moment, I invite you to join me in a prayer. It does not matter what your faith is or if you have one. This is a prayer for humanity, for our common future. Our Father, who art in heaven, illuminate our minds and open our hearts. Give us the strength to be instruments of peace and love. Help us to see beyond our differences, to recognize our common humanity. Guide us towards a future of hope and harmony. Amen. If this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share your reflection in the comments, starting with the word Amen. Let your voice join that of millions of people around the world who are responding to the Pope's call. But words are not enough. It is time to act. The Holy Father has given us a roadmap for change, but it is up to us to put it into practice. Let's start with small things: a kind gesture towards a neighbor, a conscious choice at the supermarket, a moment of silence and reflection in our busy day. Remember that we are not alone on this journey. All over the world, people of goodwill are responding to the Pope's call. Communities are organizing to tackle environmental and social challenges. Young and old are coming together in intergenerational dialogue, sharing wisdom and energy. The message of Francis also reminds us of the importance of family. In an era where family bonds seem to weaken, the Pope urges us to rediscover the beauty and strength of these relationships. Let's take the time to listen to our elderly parents, to play with our grandchildren, to reconcile with that relative we argued with years ago. The crisis the Pope speaks of is not only external but also internal. How many of us feel empty, despite a life seemingly full of success? Materialism and consumerism promised us happiness, but have they kept the promise? Francis invites us to look beyond, to rediscover joy in simple things, in sharing, in spirituality. Let us not forget the importance of education. The Pope emphasizes how crucial it is to train new generations not only intellectually but also morally and emotionally. How can we contribute? By sharing our experience, becoming mentors, supporting educational initiatives in our community. The Holy Father's message also touches on the theme of peace. In a world still torn by conflicts, Francis reminds us that peace begins in each of our hearts. Every time we choose forgiveness over revenge, dialogue over confrontation, we are helping to build a more peaceful world. As we reflect on these words, I invite you to take a break. Stand up, take a few steps, look out the window. Observe the world around you with new eyes. What do you see? What can you do, today, to start this change? The Pope's message is not just a warning but a call to action. He is asking us to be protagonists of our destiny, to take the helm of history. We can no longer afford to be passive spectators. Dear friends, we are at a crossroads. The road we choose today will determine the future not only for us but for the generations to come. Francis's message is a beacon in the night, a light showing us the way. It is up to us to decide whether to follow it or ignore it. As we approach the conclusion of this reflection, I invite you to make a promise to yourself. A promise of change, of commitment, of hope. No matter how small it may seem, every action counts. If this message has touched you, if you feel the desire to delve deeper into these themes and be part of a community that wants to make a difference, I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you will find in-depth analyses, testimonies, and practical advice on how to put the Pope's message into practice in your daily life. Let us remember that the future is not written. We have the power to change it, to shape a better world for ourselves and for those who will come after us. Pope Francis's words are an invitation to wake up, to look beyond our daily concerns, and to see the bigger picture. May the Holy Father's message be for us not only a warning but a source of inspiration and hope. Together, with love, compassion, and determination, we can make a difference. The future is in our hands. Thank you for sharing this moment of reflection. May peace and wisdom guide your steps.